So Valorant just dropped their huge patch, patch 12.0, and the patch notes are out. There's a huge amount of changes, including agent changes, map changes, and a whole load of other stuff like MMR changes and whatnot. And we're gonna go through all of it today. All right, let's quickly start here with the patch notes. We're gonna be looking through this stuff first, starting with the TLDR. So they've added replays to custom games. So this would be good for like pro players who do scrimming and whatnot. You can now have like replays of your custom games and can watch it and can see with like a 360-degree view and everything. So that's very useful for those circumstances, and good for content creators as well who do a lot of custom games. And next, we also have the hidden MMR system changes, which should be better for those of you who grind a lot of ranked. You should see pretty good improvement and more accurate ranks. Next, we have some agent changes we'll get into later. Then Breeze is back, and for the first 2 weeks that Breeze is back, our loss will be reduced by 50%. Good change. We'll talk about my thoughts on Breeze later, but no, the RR loss being cut in half is pretty good. Haven Corrode got some changes as well. New game mode, all random one side, which is basically like they just remove one side of the map and you kind of play it like a TDM style, and like Spike Rush. Looks pretty fun. Might see me playing it on stream a little bit later on. And yeah, just some player behavior system and whatnot changes, and a new gun, very importantly, that we'll be getting into later on. But first, let's start with the agent changes. So first change here, you can see they have buffed Breach just very slightly. They have made Breach's flash projectile speed increased by 20% from 2000 to 2400. Pretty good. This means that probably it's gonna be a little bit harder to turn away from breach flashes, which we know are kind of easy to turn, especially at higher levels. Breach flashes find almost no value. Fault line width increasing from 7.5 meters to 8 meters, good change, but I just don't think that it's not making him strong enough where he'll be competitively viable, especially at some of the highest levels. But you could see some breach play, I think. We already have, even when before these buffs, so definitely makes Breach a little bit more playable. Brimstone here, just a little bit of, making it more clearer when you're smoking stuff. Not much to get into here. Next, Harbor, that's a very big one. Storm Surge, like the throwable ability, kind of whirlpool ability, no longer needs line of sight to blind and slow players. Very good change. That was one of the main complaints that a lot of people had. Explosion windup decreased from 0.8 seconds to 0.6 seconds. Again, good. Means it's a lot easier to hit now. And next, slow duration increased from 0.6 seconds to 2 seconds. And for the reckoning as well, slow duration increased to 2 seconds. Very big change. This means that once you're hit by either of these abilities, you're going to be paranoid, you're going to be slowed for 2 whole seconds. That's gonna be very difficult to get out of. You can't really move, you can't see anything, so you're pretty much dead if you are playing in a bad position. However, one change that they still haven't made, and a lot of people have been complaining about, is his wall still slows teammates. Now, the reckoning slow up to 2 seconds. I believe the reckoning does hit your own allies, so that could be pretty troll. Storm Surge can hit your allies as well, that's pretty troll. But the main thing I think you have to address here is that his wall still slows allies when they run through it, although their slow duration is only 0.6 seconds, but it does make a noticeable difference, and I think that should be a change that they should be looking to making it so that their harbor wall no longer slows allies. Next, moving down to Sage, just updated targeting. Okay, easier to heal the right ally, good change. Next, Tejo actually getting a slight rework here, I think. Not a huge one, but just a very slight one. So they changed his concuss duration down from 4 seconds to 2.5 seconds, which is in line with almost all the other stunts in the game. Okay, that's fair enough. Added damage to the explosion, which is pretty big. 35 damage at the center and 20 at like the edges. that could see a lot of uses. Like you can see maybe like a Tejo like stun and a molly combo now, cause it does do damage. And I mean, stun molly combos have always been good, but now that it does damage, I think more and more people would try and dodge it. Pretty good change, I think, making his stun a little bit stronger than it used to be. Next change, stealth drone, change from snapshot to fully revealed, although his pulse radius has gone down by almost half. Now, I don't think you were really hitting the 30-meter reveals a lot anyways, so I don't think it's too much of a big change. The pulse radius, you're gonna notice it sometimes, but it's not too bad. But I think the big change here to talk about is that they are gonna be fully revealed. So it's gonna be like a better Silver drone in a sense, because Silver drone, you know, you go in, you tag one player, they're gonna be fully revealed, right? This tail drone reveals in a 360 degrees and within 60 meters of radius, and they're gonna all be fully revealed, which is pretty broken. Now I believe Tejo will be very much back in the meta this year. We're actually only like a week of kickoff for America starting. So yeah, I believe Trent, he's back. He's back, the Tejo merchant is back. Okay, moving on to Vice. Just buffing out a little bit, radius increasing from 26 meters to 28 meters. This has actually been changed, I think, because there was something about the width increasing as well, but I think it was a bit redundant, so they removed that line. Okay, basically the idea is that the out is now bigger. Next, okay, the map changes. We're gonna get into the Breeze reworks later on. I have all of it up and we're going to be talking about it, but let's start with Haven and Corrode. So Haven, you know, this angle, everyone knows it. You play from B side as defender, you just spam through this window. A lot of the times you're going to find a kill or deal a huge ton of damage. And now they've added this thing, which looks very ugly, but I get what that is supposed to be. You have to now break it, which gives attackers a chance to take window without getting spammed to death or taking a huge chunk of damage, which I think is overall a good change, but maybe could be better designed here. Corrode similarly has gotten some reinforcements so that you know to stop wallbang. This is a huge one. I think I don't see a lot of people playing like A main spam for post plant, but it's very annoying if they do, and it's very hard for defenders to counter it. So you know, blocking off this wall is good. I'm pretty sure you can still spam from the side here, which is fine. I think this is a little bit easier for defenders to stop, but the A main wall is now closed up, which is fine. I think it works for both ways though, like for defenders as well. If you like throw a fade eye and review everyone, you can just go through this wall and kill a lot or deal a lot of damage to attackers, which I think reinforcing this wall is pretty good. Next, B side also got their own reinforcement. This hut, the back of it is now no longer wall bangable, which is good. I think it's fine. Overall, Corrode has had some pretty thin walls, and I think reinforcing them is a pretty good change after all. Okay, map pool updates. Breeze is in, Sunset is out. This will be the same map pool for pro play, so Breeze enjoyers rejoice, although I don't think there are many of you out there. But Sunset was a pretty good map, I think, overall after the changes, but it's a bit sad to see it go, but it is what we have. Next, the random all-side mode, random one-side mode, sorry. So you're gonna be playing a random agent. You're just gonna have to attack one side, and here the available maps: Abyss, Ascent, Breeze, Corrode, Pearl, Icebox, Sunset, Split. I don't think it's the full current competitive map pool is, but pretty good selection of maps here. Icebox, Breeze, and Abyss on the same pool. I've seen some people talking about that. It's a little bit, but it's just a fun little game mode, which I'm not gonna be too worried about the map pool here. Abilities, you see fully charged full ability charges are granted at each round at no cost. They recharge through the round, a bit like TDM. Ultimate orb starts each round at 0% ultimate charge, and then you gain charge by getting kills, getting out orbs, a bit like TDM as well. Yeah. Then loadouts, no economy. Select your loadout each round. Weapons of ranks escalate through the stages as match progress. Again, a lot like TDM. Sorry, I'm I'm kind of on the DFM train boat in my head. And Snowball Fight is heading out for this mode instead. And what they don't really say here is that every player will have the spike, so it's a bit like Spike Rush in a sense as well. Next, behavior updates. I think overall you can read through this yourself, but overall this is good. Change. You're gonna see less toxicity, and people who do have bad behavior in the game are gonna be punished more. And yeah, overall good change for the community, I think, making the game a lot more fun. Moving down here, we have a huge one. Weapon updates. Introducing the Bandit. I'll put a precision sidearm with one tap headshot power for those who want to steal some rounds on a budget. So the Bandit will be in between the Ghost and the Sheriff. And if we look at the stats here, it's a 600 credit weapon, 8 bullets per magazine, 24 ammo reserve, reload timing 1.5 seconds, equip timing 0.75 seconds, and wall penetration is medium. Now, I'm gonna quickly put this up here. This is the stats of everything else. You can see here the damage. If you are like close range, it's actually 152 damage to headshot. That means you are gonna be one-shotting people with full shield at close range. So 600 credits for this gun. I think this gun will be very much a eco round gun. You know, like if you lose the pistol and you're on the attack side, we got a plant down, or if you get like 1 or 2 kills, you have enough money to buy. Right now, instead of buying the Sheriff, I actually think this is a better idea. I think a lot of people like to buy Sheriffs on eco rounds, but I think this is now gonna replace the Sheriff in that spot. Sheriff has been pretty iffy against like even full shields at long range anyways. This gun shoots faster, and you're gonna be, if you're gonna be hitting hit shots anyways at long range, this is still 2 shots, same as a Sheriff, because Sheriff at long range is 145 damage anyway. So this should be a very, very strong weapon. I'm excited to see how it fits into the meta. I'll be trying it later on, and you know, I'm gonna be trying it and giving my thoughts about it as we go. Maybe you can catch me live on stream for that. Okay, I think for the patch notes down here, it's just bug fixes and stuff. So let's move on and talk about Breeze. Starting here at the A side, you can see the before of a back side here. It's very open. Defenders kinda didn't really have any areas to play, and if we look at A link as well here, very, very open. You see, like if they come in through mid, if you come in through A main, kind of defenders, you only really have the box to play with, right? And behind the pyramids, not too many angles to hold. So a lot of the times you see Breeze, Breeze games, they just kind of get decided by a random gunfight, right? Like they just get, like if you kill one defender and they can just flood in if you're the attackers, or defenders, you can just randomly just get a kill on the attackers and they can't really scale in anymore, right? So this is a very, very gunfight dependent. And we look at the changes they have made. They have given a little bit of a pillar here to play around, and A link here, we're going to be talking about more of the A changes and halls later, but you can see very much blocked off. More chances for you to scale in through mid as well. If you come in through here, if you're attacking, like you gotta worry about stairs, gotta worry about CT, gotta be worried about this angle, gotta be worried about if you don't have a main control either, you gotta be worried about this angle at bricks here as well, right? So this good change coming in. You only have to really looking at this side. I like the changes, you know. I think this makes the site a little bit more bearable, which was one of my main complaints with Breeze. I didn't really like the site designs, but I think this overall makes the site a little bit better to play. See, you can take this space as well for your attackers, and makes it so that you can actually play smokes agents that are not Viper when you're attacking towards A. Okay, moving on, we're gonna be talking about B side changes. So you can see the before here again, cubby and back side, and the after right down here. So I like this change, first of all, on the cubby area. I think this gives you a lot more chance to play like crossfire here as a defender. You can see this part still remains unchanged, so you can play a crossfire as defender. pretty good change overall. I think backside as well. I'm pretty sure this box and this wall is not jumpable from either side, so you can't really get onto this part. Rather than like before, this is a very big. Sometimes you see a lot of duels happening over on this ledge. I think these are pretty good changes. Again, not too much to complain about. Makes the site a lot easier to play, I think, in my opinion. Makes it a bit more good for the defenders to hold and flood in and whatnot. Mid as well got some pretty big changes. I think these are some of the top, like some of the best changes they have made to the map is in mid. You can see before, very open, right? If you're holding from like top mid up here, gotta worry about elbow, gotta worry about this angle, gotta worry about this box jump up as well. But rather, if you look at the after changes, the box jump up is no longer a thing. If you hold here, you know, you can obviously still have to worry about elbow, but you can really hold and op down this line, right? You can have someone watching elbow, and elbow you can see is more closed off. We'll get to the elbow changes a little bit later, but you know, very good change, I think, making this a little bit easier to hold and a bit less like clustered in mid. I feel like there's a bit too many probabilities here in mid if you're a defender holding from up here. Good change, I like it. Next, top mid. Before it's here and after it's here. Again, not too much changes, but this box just got bigger, so you can see a defender playing here. I think it's good. You can like isolate the angle, and you can see a bit here the elbow extends out just further, so you wouldn't be, you know, if you're playing back here, you're not going to be exposed to elbow and then the people coming from here. Good change overall. Okay, we're gonna have a look at mid doors here. Before, you know, pretty, and after, pretty about the same, I think. Not too much to really say here, just this block kind of moving a bit slanted and getting rid of the jump, as I said earlier. Actually, I think I missed some A side changes. Okay, yes. So you can see stairs is gone because halls is also gone. Spoiler alert. So stairs became this kind of cubby thing, yellow, you know, just moving at a 45-degree angle. You can see the A kind of mid-link section better from here as well. Again, I like the side changes. Not too much to complain about. Side, here's an overall better look. A main changes. Is this right? Was this box not here before? Am I crazy? Okay, anyways, you know, A ropes are gone because again, halls is gone as well. I haven't really looked at the map, so I don't know where this leads. I'm assuming it's towards mid. We're gonna have to be finding out. Again, I'll be streaming a little bit later on, and we're gonna be exploring everything on the new patch. So do come on if you manage to catch this on time. Okay, so we've talked about B side, mid, and now we're gonna be talking about the big one, halls. It is gone. So this is current halls before, and they've nuked it. This is halls after. Again, you still have this top part to play with, like this little bridge thing that we see on the A side. But if we look at stairs area here, this is what stairs is replaced by. And this is, I assume, what is heading down towards that little exit here. Just okay. I think halls was one of the selling point on Breeze, but also it made Breeze a very, very difficult map to play. You kind of had to play a sentinel, like hard sentinel, like Cypher on this map. So I think overall it should be a pretty good change, getting rid of halls, although it does make the map lose a little bit of its identity. But you know, I didn't really like Breeze anyway, so losing its identity doesn't matter too much to me. Okay, moving on. Elbow, another very big change. See, before this kind of open area and this wall doesn't extend too far. You can see now it's completely closed off. There's this little window here still for like utility if you want to send anything in or out. And then, you know, here's a look from the outside. And you see it's closed off and it's extended further. And I think this is a very, very good change. I think elbow has always been quite important in B attack and retakes. And, you know, honestly was not utilized enough. I feel like a lot of the pro games that we've seen even, and I think doing this would I'm hoping that it would emphasize the importance of taking elbow control, whether you're attacking or defending. And I like the change. I like the change overall. On Breeze, I think I'm still not too big of a fan of the map because I don't really like the site still, even though the changes have made it better, and still not a big fan of the map, but I'm excited to see it in VCT and the competitive map pool as a whole. Something that I couldn't be saying about it if there was no changes at all. So overall, good changes. You know, they could actually change my mind. With Breeze. If we get some good VCT games. And the last thing I want to quickly talk about before we end the video is the VCT 2026 bundles. Again, these are the player cards. I assume the buddies is gonna be the same. The spray is gonna be the same. Just the player card again. It's a bit like the 2025 one, where there's no custom player cards and it's just a very much standard template for everyone. Pretty cool for NRG, T1, and PaperX having like masters and champions written with their trophy. Pretty cool. I actually kind of like the vibe of the player card. They are okay. Not much to say. And then for the classic skins, you have all the teams here again, very similar to previous years, just kind of different color palette for every team. Like I think kind of Leviathan one's pretty good. I like Wolves, 100 Thieves. Some of these skins are looking pretty clean. But again, not too much to write home about. So yeah, that is all really that I have in store for you today, and we have covered the major things of patch 12.0. And see you guys next time. Goodbye.